Good evening, everybody, or good morning if you're down under, or if you're somewhere else in the world. It's probably the middle of the night. My name is Dana Lyons. I want to sing you a song this evening. I want to sing you my song, Cracks in the Heartland. That's the title track of my most recent album. I'll put the information for all that on my website down below, the archive and YouTube. I'm singing this now because I just released my music video for Cracks in the Heartland, which I think it's a beautiful music video. It's really a slideshow. It's all photographs of the people who were involved in Nebraska and South Dakota in the fight to stop the Keystone XL oil pipeline a number of years ago. So it's the real folks, and it's interesting. But I'll sing you the song, and then we can then I can tell you a little bit more about it afterwards. A hidden ocean of rain, just underground, dig a hole 4 feet in, and fresh water is found. 1,000 foot deep, 10,000 years old. From Texas on up to Dakota, I'm told. Ogallala, Ogallala, our hidden ocean of rain. Few things make me angry, but to watch my mother cry. She handed me the paper the agent asked her to sign. They came here to the old folks' home with a sales pitch and a smile. It's the best you're gonna get. Write your name here on this line. A foreign oil company at Trans-Canada was their name. If we didn't take the money, they'd use eminent domain. Well, I'm not one to take a threat and walk the other way. You can take your pipeline, the rest I shouldn't say. And I'm driving through a sea of grain, up and down the endless grassland, keeping the tractor away from the wet, shallow soil. A hidden ocean of rain, just underground. You don't want to sink in, 'cause you'll never get out. There are cracks in the heartland where people like me can be found. I was born here in Nebraska, went to college at Greeley. I was the captain of the football team in 1970. America wrapped in protest, but round here it was pretty mild. I was a registered Republican for 45 years' time. Parking lots full of pickups, mugs of coffee, cups of tea, meetings across the Sandhills. On some things we agree. When the aquifer is threatened, when they forcibly take our land, ranchers come together, pipeline neighbors make a stand. We all went down to Lincoln and talked to every rep in town. Most senators seemed nervous, they didn't want us around. I really thought that we had rights to our farmland and our home. I thought the government would help us, but we found ourselves alone. 800 strong in Albion, over 1,000 at Grand Island. In Nebraska, we're not in the business of watching our neighbors get pushed aside. Gardens, barns, and solar panels block the pipeline's way. The Ponca planting sacred corn, the apple pie brigade. 8,000 came to watch the show at Art and Helen's farm. Willie and Neil rocked the joint, and we all sang along. The Cowboy and the Indian Alliance for the plains, and we never would have got this far without organizer Jane. Hands around the White House, a bus loads off to jail. We rode our horses into D.C. and momentarily prevailed. Obama finally stopped it, but the next guy came along. He says that he will push it through, but I believe he is wrong. And I'm driving through a sea of grain, up and down the endless grasslands, keeping the tractor away from the wet, shallow soil. A hidden ocean of rain, just underground. You don't want to sink in, 'cause you'll never get out. There are cracks in the heartland where people like me can be found. Cracks in the Heartland was a difficult song for me to write. It was challenging. Most of the songs I write, hanging out, I take like a week or 2 or 3 off and just go and hide somewhere in the wilderness or on a beach or in the woods or at a friend's house and where it's quiet and there's outdoors. And I just play the guitar for hours and see what tunes kind of bubble out and see what those songs are about and put the words to them. Cracks in the Heartland was a story I had heard about, and I wanted to write this song. I wanted to tell this story because I think it's one of the great modern day American people power stories. And it happened in Nebraska, and one of the most fascinating parts of this story is that of the unlikely alliance that was created to beat a huge fossil fuel company, a huge oil company, and to beat the U.S. government. Ideally, in a democracy, when the majority of the people want something, they get it. But as you may have noticed, that doesn't always work. But let's keep in mind that in a democracy, the government works for us, not the other way around. But in this case, the people succeeded, and they had this amazing alliance of very conservative farmers and ranchers, country folks, very progressive environmentalists from the city, and Native American tribes in both Nebraska and South Dakota. The Ponca tribe played a particularly large role. But they were very creative, and the uniting, what I believe the uniting, well, I think what everyone realizes, the uniting factor, what united everybody, was the love of their land, but also having access to clean drinking water and to protect their local economy. The Ogallala Aquifer, I believe, is the largest aquifer in the United States. It stretches all the way from Texas up to the Dakotas and maybe even into Canada. And it's this ocean of fresh water. And it's refilled by the rain, and it takes thousands of years for the water to filter down to it. But the aquifer is extremely close to the surface in the Sandhills of Nebraska, like a few feet below. Imagine that, you're living in your house and just 4 feet down, there's this 1,000-foot deep lake. a little disconcerting. That's the line, keeping the tractor keeping the tractor away from the wet, shallow soil. Because if the tractor goes in, you're never going to get it out. It'll just sink into the aquifer. But I went to a house where they showed me, they literally, you can stick a pipe 4 feet in the ground and fresh water will come up. Beautiful, clean, pure drinking water. I drank it. And anywhere they want a pond, they just take out the backhoe and dig it out. But their entire economy depends on it. If that oil pipeline ruptured and spilled, which oil pipelines do once in a while, that's part of having a pipeline. There's a danger to the water. That's one of the problems with the oil economy. But if that oil pipeline fractured over the Sandhills and went into that aquifer, it could poison that aquifer for hundreds or thousands of years. And what would that do? What would that do to the folks drinking water? What would that do? They wouldn't be able to feed it to their farm animals. They wouldn't, watering the crops, they wouldn't be able to drink it. So it's a fascinating example of protecting your environment, but really, I think what really united everyone was protecting the local economy, protecting local jobs. Would the pipeline have created some jobs? Yeah. But could it have destroyed the local region's jobs? Yeah. So it was an example of the local economy versus the fossil fuel economy. And they fought for years, and they were close to losing a lot. But in the end, they were fighting it under Obama. Finally, Obama stopped it. Then Trump greenlighted it. And then Biden finally finished it, right? I think it was the first day of his administration. And so this is an example of how a democracy can work, if we, the people, work hard and long enough. I mean, it shouldn't be this hard. It's like when virtually, when a very, very high percentage of Nebraskans were against this, it should have just stopped it right there. But people had to fight. Anyway, I'm happy to share this song. This is a song of, like my definition of a somewhat functioning democracy. I know the American democracy isn't perfect, and it's certainly very challenged right now. But a somewhat functioning democracy is when the people get organized and we can actually win. We can actually beat big business, big corporations, and big government. I've worked on a lot of issues. Some we've lost, but sometimes we win. And that's the definition to me of a somewhat functioning democracy. So that's Cracks in the Heartland. I'll put a link down below in the YouTube archive where you can see the new video and the folks of everyone who did this wonderful work. I'll put a link to my website. That's where you can sign up for my email list or figure out, how you can support my work, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, thank you. What a pleasure. Hope you were having a pleasant evening. Keep the faith, and yeah, I love this story because this is a story about democracy winning and the people winning, and it's recent. And when you think about it, I think most everyone in the world just wants to be free, and most everyone in the world would prefer to be in a democracy, and a lot of us aren't. And sometimes our democracies are threatened. And if we love our country, we love our democracy, we fight to protect it. And the best way to fight to protect it is through nonviolent, non-cooperation, and getting out on the streets and letting the government know that, no, we're keeping our Constitution, we're keeping our democracy. All right, have a good night. Sweet dreams.